And welcome back, rail fans. Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Steve's Trains. And I am your host, Mr. Steve. And this is a low budget production. This week I wanted to share a couple of tips and tricks that I use in maintaining my rail cars and cleaning my track. We had a slight interest in it last week, so I figured I'd pass on a little bit of knowledge. Things that I use to make everything work out smoothly. Now, this is nothing new, nothing groundbreaking. This is more geared towards the beginner. You know, the new guys coming into the hobby. We'd like to show you some tips and tricks. How's that? Let's go take a look. Come on with me. I've been busy working, so normally we would get out a new video right here. We're waiting on that box to arrive. A little something something from the Muffin Man. Real quick addition there. We got our country cowboy store down here. And then over here we have a new addition. Landmark Structures. 1/48 scale windmill. 3 pieces. It's got a nice big old feed trough on there. Full of grass and straw or hay. Not straw, right? We don't feed straw to the cattle. There's a water basin. And it's a beautiful windmill. KW on the side. I'm not sure what KW stands for. Really nice structure. And yes, it does. It works beautifully. And then there's a rusted out version. It's a little more heavily weathered. It's got rust. You get rust on the metal brackets. The windmill itself is rusted. It's missing a few fan blades. But I decided to go with the new version. I think it's beautiful. I like those red tips on there. I think it looks gorgeous. And it actually has a little red pump down the side there. You can kind of see it in there. They're pumping that water out. Nice detail. I thought it was pretty slick. Perfect addition. I like Landmark Structures. So there we go. Go with our little cowboy country store down there. Pretty slick. All right. Now I know I mentioned it once before. We're going to use denatured alcohol. All right. Now this is for the new guys. You guys have been doing this hobby for a while. You got lots of experience with this. Now this is just my personal recommendation. This is what works for me. All right. So what I use is a little paper towel. This is one of these paper towels that rip in half. Just get the 2 halves. You're going to fold it, fold it again. You're going to get it down to about a nice 3 by 5 inch square. All right, and what you want to do is, and I do this all the time over the carpeting, but I recommend to you, safety first, don't ruin your parents' carpeting. Rule number 1, don't ruin the parents' carpeting. All right. You can do this over the bathroom sink. Do it someplace safe. Make sure your power's off. Transformer's off. No power on the tracks. You get your paper towel. Put it up against the lid. Hold it with your fingers. And you're just going to tip. And you'll feel it. You'll feel the cold impression as the alcohol leaks through. You can barely even see it on. It's just a little wet spot. All right, then I'll move it again. I'll move it over. And it's real quick. Tip, and you'll feel it soak right through the back of your fingers there. Tip, right there. So now we got 2/3 wet, not saturated. Put the lid on. We don't want accents. You don't want this to spill. Always put the lid on. Now you have it wet, but not saturated. So when you push down on the tracks, you're just pressing it lightly. This will take the grease and grime right off the rails. There's no hard scrubbing, no buffing. Just going to take it like this. I usually use those 3 fingers, lay them right across the rails, and just wipe it. Wipe it real easy. All right. As I make a mess here. You see, just a little bit of dirt and grime comes on there. That's all you gotta do. You just do that and go all the way around the tracks. Now, it gets dirty, you can flip it around, fold it over because it's not saturated through. Excuse me, wet but not saturated. If you oversaturate and you lightly press it on the rails, if it drips down and gets on the plastic, find the dry spot, wipe it up off the plastic immediately. Don't let it soak on there. All right? Pretty easy. And that's all there is to it. Wet but not saturated. All right? You're going to have a spare drag, a spare paper towel that's dry in case if you do oversaturate. Now, one important note, cleaning track like this, don't rub this over because it will start to strip the brown out of the crossing. It'll strip the color out of the plastic. All right? Just very carefully, get just a little tiny corner and just rub that rail. Just get that little bit of dirt off there. The center rail, you know, user beware. That's what I'm going to tell you on that part. See, let that gunk come off there. This is probably the one piece of track that I cleaned the least because, you know, I don't want to strip it. I don't want to hurt it. But he's going to use a little tiny, just a little tiny touch of the rag on there. Not that it's a big deal. See, you can see a little bit of brown on there. That's the one piece I probably cleaned the least. But I'll clean the rails right up to the plastic. All right. Take that grease right out of there. That's all there is to that. Denatured alcohol works. Now, let's talk about maintenance of our rail cars. Okay. Take a towel. My least favorite. You're going to do just like that. Roll the ends up underneath the towel. Make a cradle in the center. That way you can cradle your box car in there without moving around, or your engine. Okay, now this is the part I have the exception with. Okay, if this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do. All right, now I'm going to tell you why you don't want to do it. Towels have fibers. See all these little fibers? All those are little loops. If you look at a towel real closely, it's just thousands of little loops of thread. Well, those little loops of thread like to catch on antennas, handrails. You know, the catwalk, you got these little corners on here. All right. You don't want to snag that and rip something off of your rail car. So what I would do, if you don't have a proper cradle, usually guys have an old t-shirt. I have lots of uses for old white t-shirts. They become great linen rags. Nice and smooth like that. You put your car in there. You can cradle it. And you're not going to snag nothing. No loops, nothing to snag and grab onto the fine details of the car. All right, that's tip number one. Use an old t-shirt over the towel. Now the second best product you can use is Bowers Manufacturing. If you look down here at the bottom, Bowers Train, that's the website, www.bower-trains.com. Get an O-gauge foam local cradle. You say, what is that? Local cradle. You never heard of that, right? Okay, well, Bowers-trains.com. You can pause that in the video. All right, this is the Bowers cradle. It's got a nice little notch in it. Got a little bit of cat and dog hair on there. But that's all it is. It's a foam cradle. All right, it's designed to hold your cars. Now you can put your engine, perfect width, put your caboose in there, work on it. It's not going to move anywhere. It's perfect. You can put small parts in the channel. You can use it just like that. Or what I'd sometimes do I use this linen towel. You can get these linen towels, and if depending on the country where you live, your local super big box store, your Menards, your Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere that sells any kind of KitchenAid appliances, your big box grocery stores like a Myers, Walmart. These are just linen towels. They're like $3, $4. You put them on there. It's nice linen, snag free. Put your car in there, your train engine, and you're not going to snag or rip anything off it when you lift it out. Okay, so towel, emergency only. Put a t-shirt on it. It'll work. Ideally, get you a nice foam cradle designed to fit and hold your lokes. All right, second thing I want to discuss, get your small little brush. One of these little bristle brushes. This is actually, I'd gotten this years ago. This is an auto detailer's brush, but it's good for taking the dust, you know, brushing the tops of your cars and getting the dust off. Sometimes I'll get a brush from an old brush that my wife no longer wants, and I will use her brush, her old makeup brush. They're real soft. Softer than an auto detailer's brush, that's for sure. And you can use that and you clean your cars. The Muffin Man, God, I feel like I'm a product placement for muffins. You see it on there, says Mr. Muffin's Trains. These are real nice. This is like, I want to say it's like beaver fur or something. It's soft. I mean, it is like plush. Feels like royal velvet. It is just so soft. And you can use that and just brush the dust off. I forget what the Muffin Man sells these for. They're not much. But like I said, you can go to any big box store, get you a couple tea towels. They're linen, a couple bucks. You can go in their makeup section, probably find a lady's makeup brush. It's real soft. You can just brush all the dust and keep your looks in your rolling stock looking smooth. Okay, perfect. All right, now we're going to move on to our last tip. Very important. We oil and lube our trains. You've probably seen this. 3-in-1 oil. Great oil, bad delivery system. These things, that's the tip. It likes to put a big old drop out there. Let's see if I can. And it's big, it's cumbersome. It's hard to get in there without oiling and making a big mess. See, there's a couple drops. What I'd like to use, you can go on eBay or Amazon, look up needle tip oilers or toy train oiler bottles. Look up needle tip oil bottles. I use this one. This has smoke fluid in it. It's great for those little ports in the steam. But this one here, this is 100% synthetic lube. Synthetic. That's a tongue twister. All right, Liberty Oil Products. Go to Liberty Oil Products. It's specially designed for oiling trains in the hobby. This has got a great needle oiler on it. This is real neat, precise. One little tiny drop. That's it right there. Look at that oil drop compared to the 2 oil drops from the 3 bottle. All right. Neater, more precise. That's what you want. We can zoom right in here, doctor. And what I like to do, every piece of new rolling stock, you're going to put just right there. Just touch it on there. The oil will go right in place. Just drop there. Drop there. See if you can see that. Right there, and that's it. That's it. Some guys they like to put a drop on the roller. I don't find it necessary. You can, and don't hurt it. If you get a little much on there, you just wipe off the excess, no big deal. I try to keep my wheels typically dry, oil free, but yeah, every new piece of rolling stock gets a little tiny drop of oil on there. And that's it. Real simple, real easy. The locomotives, like the steamers, I'll do the same thing. I'll hit the oil points. I might hit some of the rails, all the pivot sections in the side of the rolling stock. You know, say like this is a locomotive, you got your wheels on there. You know, you get your steam, your rails going back and forth. Well, you're just going to little drop, little drop, little drop. Little drop. Okay, if it starts to hang or run off, you just get your little paper towel and a rag and you just wipe it up. Simple, easy tricks. And again, this is for like the guys that are new in the hobby. You know, a couple of bucks. That oiler there was maybe, I don't know, maybe $12 with the bottle, the oil. And then, you know, it's a nice size oil. That oil will go a long ways. 4 fluid ounces. Okay, so I hope this kind of helps. I just got off of work and I wanted to throw something together real quick, something helpful and useful for you guys out there. A little oil, a little cleaning. Get you a foam cradle. Very useful. Now we're going to get back to this one, and this is part of the unboxing video. Let me adjust this camera. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Nothing too fancy. I stole a pair of scissors from my wife's. This is part of her little plant scissors. This is my makeshift unboxing video here. Let's pull that back a little bit. Since I'm kind of lacking on a low budget production, oh, look at that. Muffin Man threw in an oiler. Jay's Team Megaspeed Ultra Fine Point, if you can read that. Ultra Fine Point Dispenser. Nice. It's empty, but it's nice. Thank you to the Muffin Man for that. I think we're going to need that little fine oiler because this has the whistle steam smoke effect on it. Oh yeah. Since this was this was a pre-order. That brush, Mr. Muffin's dusting brush, you see it was $4. So you can't go wrong. You know, you order from the Muffin Man, tell him to throw a dusting brush in a bag, $4. Like I said, I think it's like beaver fur or something. It's soft. It's really soft. Oh yeah, here we go. A little love note from the Muffin Man. We thought you would like one of these Mega Steam Ultra Fine Point Smoke Fluid Dispensers for your whistle steam. Thanks for buying from us, Muffins. That's so cool. All right, see if I can get this out of here without making a huge freaking mess. Oh yeah. Gotta love them purple boxes. Oh, that there's a beauty. That there. We caught ourselves a big fish. Still ain't got my Lionel catalog yet, but Muffin Man assures me that it's coming. All right. So what do you say? Let's open this bad boy up. I'm trying to do this so and this Oops, let's turn this over. I'll get more information in the next video, part 2. We had this is a 3-truck Shay steam engine. 20-3878-1. Oh, that's your beauty. I don't want to keep this video running too long. I know I'm already like holding you guys over, and I appreciate that. If you appreciate the tips and tricks I'm trying to show you, then please like, share, and always subscribe to the Mr. Steve channel. I'm going to have to get around here and do this like this. Man, they really put the tape on there, didn't they? Oh, look at that. It's like opening up the Holy Grail in the Ark, Indiana Jones. Now, see, I will say I love MTH with their ribbons. You pull the train out. I've seen that Lionel lately has been doing a platform with screws. I'm not a fan of that, because every time you want to put the train away, you'd have to put it back on the platform and screw it down on a piece of wood. I'm not a fan of that at all. Okay. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's see if I get this bad boy set up on his wheels without wrecking it. Nice foam blocks in there. Oh yeah, it's got the little, careful. Oh, it only opens up so far. Oh, there it is. There's the lid. You can set that baby so it sits up. Nice, nice bells, whistles. But this is it. This is the Western Maryland 3-truck Shay. That's a beaut. Ooh. Oh, there's your wiring. Here's your smoke on off switches, effects. That's pretty cool. Kind of held in there with magnets. Yeah, I'm trying to do this real quick like. You notice the boiler offsets to one side on the Shay. That's because you got your massive big 3 cylinders on there for your locomotive. Nice solid rail all the way back. I'm assuming the tender is perma-attached. Well, like I said, we're going to do video part 2. We're going to get it up on the rails. We'll get it oiled and get it set up. And we're going to come back and see how this baby runs. Oh, yeah. This video is getting way longer than I anticipated. All right, guys, I want to let it go. We're going to cut it off there. And I'm going to see you next time. Video part 2. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know this just was a long one, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate you very much. So until next time, when I see you again, happy rails.